Hi, everybody. Hope all of you are doing really, really well. My name is Gavin Phillips, and I welcome you to another episode of Andropique presents to you Mic Testing. Now, every time on the episode or on the podcast, you're going to see guests from different genres of the fitness fraternity. Today, I have a very, very, very special guest joining me. Now, he has been my faculty, my teacher at the fitness school. A small introduction about him: he's also a physiotherapist and a national power lifter. Yes, you heard me right. He's a faculty at a fitness school, he's a power lifter, and he's a physiotherapist. Now, he also loves to cycle, and he's been cycling very often from Pune to Goa. So, ladies and gentlemen, without me wasting any more time, let me introduce to you my guest at this point. Let's hear it for Dr. Aniruddh. Hello and welcome to Dr. Aniruddh. This is Mic Testing. For all our viewers, we're pretty excited for this podcast to know all the inputs. You are an individual who's known for powerlifting as a faculty in K11 and also a physiotherapist. So before we actually go in detail in talking on every topic, once again, a warm welcome to Mic Testing.
Thank you very much. And I'm thankful to you, Andropique, and all people around here who have called me for this podcast. This is very first for me,
Right.
and I'm interested and excited for the same.
So I think so we all are. So let me just start off with my first question to you, doctor, because I'm sure you deal with a lot of patients, a lot of students and competitors on a daily basis. So 18 years of you being in the fitness industry.
Yes, 18, 19 years nearly.
Okay, what do you think is the mindset of people in India regarding fitness?
Now, if you ask me about fitness, I would say it is comprehensive. You cannot call yourself fit by just doing some particular activity.
Right.
In India, people would like to be call themselves fit by doing something like walking, or maybe like yoga, doing yoga asana, or practicing pranayama, or maybe one or the other discipline of you say fitness.
Right.
But when we call it as a fitness, you should be able to perform all these tasks. So it could be you should be able to walk a few miles. You should be able to stair climb in one go. You should be able to carry your own stuff. If your bike gets punctured and if the puncture station is nearly 2 kilometers ahead of you, you should be able to push your bike. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I have seen people who would come to me with knee pain and they are playing badminton. And if I ask them whether you do squat, they would say, no, I don't do squat.
Right.
Whether you go to gym, they say, no, I don't go to gym. So then I said, you're playing badminton, right? Yes, I said, I play badminton for my fitness. I said, how come badminton is the soul and soul thing which would give you fitness?
Right.
What is your definition about fitness? Is I'm fit enough to play badminton, but are you fit enough to play other things? Are you fit enough to sit down on the ground and get up? So there's so many things that we should be able to perform when it comes to fitness.
Right.
And that's why it cannot be isolated.
Right.
So for me, fitness is a comprehensive thing where your need or human body should be in position to perform multiple tasks
Right.
with ease.
Right.
And to achieve that or to attain that, you should be engaged in different activities where you challenge yourself every single time.
Correct.
If a person says that I walk 10 kilometers every day, and it has been nearly, say, 10 years that I'm walking 10 kilometers, that doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make
because you're accustomed to that level of intensity. But if a person says it has been like 5 years I'm walking 10 kilometers, initially it used to take 1 hour. Now I complete it within 30 minutes. Sometimes I do brisk walk, and sometimes there's a tempo walk. Sometimes I run, though I have 1 hour in my hand, but I'll try to always push myself. Then I would probably say that's a great thing. But that is not the only thing that you should do.
Correct.
You should also work out. You should do resistance training. Right. You should be able to reach out in particular activities. So it's your strength, stamina, flexibility, endurance, everything that a human body can potentially do should be challenged, and we should overcome every single time, and then keep on challenging it bit by bit.
So now, Dr. Sam, every person thinks that fitness is one thing where I can achieve either you said like walking, or if I go to the gym, can I reach my fitness goals, or in short, can I be fit if I continue going to the gym every day?
I would, if you're going to gym,
Right.
and the gym provides you multiple this thing activities like apart from resistance training, if they have yoga sessions, if they have Zumba sessions, if they have certain sessions when they challenge your agility. So I've seen a kickboxer in gym. There is a facility by a gym provided by a gym where there's
Right.
kickboxing.
Right.
There would be a football player who would take care of drills and everything and stuff, where you use those probes, codes, and everything. Then I would say that gym would be suitable if a member performs everything and not engage in only one activity.
One activity.
Secondly, if he is joining a gym, it is always best to have a proper program structure in workout.
Okay.
And we should be like there should be proper warm up, main exercises, cool down, where you prevent injuries. Being physiotherapist, I have noticed that most of the people they are in hurry, so
Yeah.
they end up directly hitting the weight
Right.
without doing proper warm up.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people who don't do warm up. There's some people who don't do cool down. Apparently, even when I used to work out prior, because of shortage of time, कि एक घंटे में workout खत्म करना है और इतना सब कुछ करना है, you're not able to do your warm up and your stretches, cool down well. That at the end of the day will come to an injury where I end up calling you and saying, Doctor, sir, I have an injury. I'm coming down to your clinic. Please help me out. I'm sure you got a lot of patients this way as well.
Yes. Now, in your case, what had happened was you were about to have your event, and you
Right.
have done your workout, and you couldn't get time to basically do cool down and
Right.
and because that was like that was your priority then, so you had to go and you have to stand for prolonged period of time. Similar thing happens with people when they would go for a walk, followed by their walk, they would get freshen up, they would go for their office. If the person is a teacher or person is in any profession where he's supposed to stand for long period of time, he's actually continuing that activity with a little break.
Correct.
So person had walked for say 45 minutes and then he's standing and he's a teacher or maybe he's into some other work where he's supposed to stand. There is no break. So it is continuous effort. So what happens, your muscle which has got some kind of micro trauma, wear and tear, it doesn't get enough rest first. And people who tend to walk but they're not doing cool down, the tissues which have strained, they're continuously in a state of strain only. And it might not be there, it might be something that they may not experience in first day, second day, third day, but it becomes a cumulative trauma.
Okay.
That eventually a day comes that even after walking and finishing their exercise, they would feel my legs are still sore,
Right.
or my ankles are still hurting. And
Right.
next day onward, they would see their efficiency to get up, to walk, or probably to maintain the same speed is getting down.
Correct.
And that's how they realize that, okay, things are going wrong now. That's how they come to me. So there's so many things that I tell them about warming up, cool down, certain stretches that may help them. But for them, walking is most important things. Warm up and cool down are not. And then they do mistakes.
So, Doctor, not everybody will want to go to the gym and work out. There are many people above the age of 40s, 45 who don't find it feasible to go to the gym. I prefer walking, is what they say. So they prefer walking. I'm sure there is some kind of exercise, some kind of cool down workout or cool down sessions also for a person who goes on walk. You just can't go for a walk, come back and say I'm done. There has to be something. So I think every workout should have a cool down route. Am I right? Or
Yes, you're absolutely right. Even if it is a badminton player or a marathon runner or maybe any discipline for that matter, you require a cool down.
right.
And secondly, if it is not possible for them to go to gym, I always suggest them to basically do your mat exercises like sit in a position of Vajrasana, attain certain poses where you're kind of lengthening your tissue. Though I don't call yoga as a stretching, merely it is whole news, as in it is totally different science. Yoga is a different science. But for them, if that is something which is going to relieve their stress on the joint and muscles and tendons, I would ask them to perform certain postures
Right.
after their exercise, and that may sometimes help them. And sometimes, if the stress is reduced and they are able to function optimally, that's a good thing for them.
What kind of stretches, Dr. Sabi would say? So we will at least show to our people or watching us right now.
So for those who have tightness in calves, there are stretches which can be performed against the wall.
Okay.
Where you could pick, basically you push your toes entirely on against the wall, and you lean ahead so that you create a stretch for your calf.
Right.
There's a position called as a downward dog position, where you both feet and both arms and floor, and then you attain a triangular pose. So your hip is in the air, you're resting on your palms and your feet, and you form a triangle. So it's a downward dog position.
Yeah.
And there's something called as a runner stretch. So 100-meter sprinter, when he attains a posture, one leg is ahead, one leg is behind. The same posture can be attained to stretch the calf. Yeah. Then second is sitting in a position of Vajrasana, or you say the way we sit in a namaz position, where both knees are folded and your ankles are folded behind. Right. That stretches your quadricep. Secondly, for your hamstring, you just stand with one leg nearly as high as 90 degrees, making 90 degrees at your hip, pulling your toes towards yourself and leaning ahead. So now, if you ask me whether these kind of stretches are optimal, I would say not. But are they better if they're serving purpose for timing? Good.
Yes.
And for optimal performance, I would always recommend or suggest that person should perform stretches with at least a proper interval, rest period, and they should be holding, as in the stretch, till you can say some perceptible discomfort, right? And why I'm saying discomfort, because if it is so easy to perform, or if you're actually stretching in most comfortable position, then you're not stretching enough. Right. So that mild discomfort will always be there. And that's how you're going to basically break that threshold, and you're going to get flexible. Right. So that's how you should do.
No. Okay. Okay, now, Dr. Sabi, when someone goes to the gym, someone new who goes to the gym, he's always been introduced to a trainer.
Yeah.
Now, a person who is not aware whether the trainer is certain, there's something called a certification of a trainer to be certified or not. And the person just goes ahead with the trainer, and could be wrong type of exercises which could lead to some kind of consequences of workout. I'm talking of a new member who enters a gym. So what is the scenario that is created if a new member enters a gym and is taken to a trainer who is not certified?
Okay. I would like to share one of my experience with one of my patients.
Yes, sir.
Now, this patient thought that he would basically go to a gym where there are things which will make him functional.
Right.
And it was a new concept which was introduced back then. So this person would do this battle rope, flip tires. He would carry certain bags and he would throw behind. He would attempt to do rope climbing.
Okay.
Ended up getting his shoulder dislocated.
Whoa.
Now, he thought it is functional.
Right.
What is functional? I asked him what he does. He owns a shop. What is he supposed to do in his shop? He's just supposed to basically exchange money. Whatever people have bought from him, right, he's supposed to pay him, he's supposed to collect. So nothing more than a cashier. So totally sedentary life. Thought that this kind of exercises would make him functional. And then when he came to me, I said, see man, to be able to use those ropes, to be able to carry load, to be able to flip tires and do all this stuff, there should be some baseline fitness. And when you join a gym, if you are able to push something, you pull something, or whether you are able to hinge at your hip properly with maintaining proper neutral spine, all these exercises are basis of anything that you do. Right. So if you want to actually perform those CrossFit like of activity, or you actually wish to do rope climbing, you should have enough strength in lifting your own weight, like pull-ups.
Correct.
Now what gym gives you an opportunity to pull a weight which is enough to challenge your strength.
Correct.
Sometimes you might be a really skinny guy and you would be able to pull your weight for 12 to 13 repetitions.
Right.
Then sometimes 20. So your own body weight becomes really less for you. Sometimes you could be as big as Yokozuna.
Right.
You could be like a really hefty person, and your own body weight may not be suitable for you. So in that case also, you have a weight stack where you can choose a weight according to your strength.
Right.
And then you perform it safely.
Correct.
Now here comes how you should choose exercises and how you should start with your fitness regimen. Regarding trainers, now since I'm into teaching, there's something called as kinesiology.
Right.
Now, kinesiology is when you perform certain exercises, whether you're following certain forms and techniques. Now, why we call it forms and techniques is basically our joint are made in a particular way. There are different joint which offers different range of motions. When we talk about shoulder joint, it's a ball and socket joint. It can move in multiple directions, but elbow can be moved in only one plane, one direction. It can either flex or extend, nothing more than that.
Right.
So if you're performing certain exercise where you're actually putting undue stress on any particular joint, which is not his actual work, you may end up getting injuries. Sometimes when people are doing exercise which are putting load on your spine, you're supposed to hinge at your hip. That is basically you're using your hip joint to lift weight from the ground. You're not using your spine per se.
Right.
You're actually using your larger muscles. So you need to have a correct form and technique, and that's why a certified trainer makes difference, because he knows what trainer is taught how to perform exercise. And it's not just about being in that picture perfect frame. It's also about how you breathe, how you brace yourself, how you attain the load, and then your conscious thinking and efforts, and you lift the weight. There are people who try to attain that posture, mimicking the posture that they have seen somewhere.
Correct.
But when it comes to lifting the load, they actually lose their entire frame and what you call is a neutral curvature of spine, and end up lifting heavy weight with the rounded spine, causing injuries.
Now, sir, sorry to cut you. Like during the COVID, a lot of people wanted to work out, but then gyms were shut. And something which was very common at that point of time was online training. So if I have an online coach, he will tell me, do this, 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 this. And maybe he may send me a video connected to how am I supposed to do it. Now, if I want that video of someone doing squats, I will attempt to do squats. But I will not know if I'm doing that squats right or wrong, if my posture is right, or if my breathing is right, because I'm sure your posture and your breathing plays a very vital role. You can't just breathe. There's a particular technique that we breathe in when we lift heavy, when we work out in any ways. So a lot of people still have online coaches who tell them what is to be done. And is it one of the reasons when people go to the gym thinking, this is what my coach has told me, do this workout with this much amount of weight, this much amount of reps, I will still have to do it because my coach has told me, even though he's not physically present. Does something like that also lead to injuries?
Now, my answer would be a mixed answer. I'll tell you why. I was of the opinion that this online training is not helpful or not used. Rather, I would say useless. But during COVID, there were a few patients of mine who had approached me on a video call, and they were like, "Can you please help us out? We are having injuries." So I remember one of my patients from Delhi. Oh, as in she's a girl and she recently got married to a person, and her husband was having problem. So she was like, "My husband is suffering with this shoulder pain. Can you please help me out?" I said, "How come online?" So she's like, "There are so many people who are already doing this."
Right.
I said, "I'm not sure, but I'll give it a try." So my prerequisite is I need to see your husband sitting on a chair with you staying in the close vicinity. Whenever needed, I would ask you to perform certain things on it. And then I would be able to make out what is the reason behind his aches and pains.
Right.
And he should not be wearing a shirt. So he agreed to that. So without shirt, he was shirtless sitting. I could assess his posture. Then I made him perform certain movements. Then I asked that lady to actually press certain muscles, try to palpate certain things and perform certain movements. And followed by that, I told her, you are supposed to release this muscle in a particular order. So like a deep pressure release. If you have a gun machine, you can use that therapeutic gun.
Correct.
And then stretching few muscles. And I actually called up my niece and showed it on her. And I asked her to perform the same
On her husband.
on her husband.
Right.
And she tried mimicking me. I was giving her verbal cue constantly, and it made difference with her husband.
Nice. Right.
And he got better, and he was like 65% pain app relief.
Nice.
And after 2 sessions, he got better. Now, though it is not optimal, it is suboptimal. I can do better if the person is in front of you.
Yeah.
But regarding training, online training, I have taken training, online training. What I have done is I have performed exercises, I've shot my video, and what possible mistakes a person can do. So for that, I would take my video of squat in 3 different views.
Acha.
The front view, side view, back view, and I will basically try to show them what all possible mistake a person can do. I will talk about significance of breathing. It is not just when you're getting a load on top of your shoulder. Even if you're not carrying any load, your own weight is nothing but a load.
Right.
How you should get down, how you should get up. So free weight.
Right.
I've showed them different exercises for pushing exercise, different alternatives with TheraBands, with bands and everything. And after taking multiple videos, I've shared it with my clients and then I asked them to perform it.
Right.
Given a choice, I would always prefer that you should hire someone one-on-one in front of you rather than being online, because that will definitely help. But if you don't have any choice, then you can go for online. But if you have someone in gym who can train you better, always have that person with you. That makes difference.
You guys remember when I used to work out and I used to do squats, even though I had a trainer with me, I remember lifting the weight, but the machine was a little too high, so I put into an entire full range of a squat. I should lift the weight, walk back like 3 steps,
Yes.
squat, finish my set,
Walk back.
walk after you're done with your squats, walk back, and then rack the weight. So I remember once when I finished my squat, I came to the extreme ki ek tera power nahi jayega. So after coming up, all you wanted to just re-rack your weights. But no, I couldn't re-rack. I had to walk. I think the walking journey of mine, even though it was 2 or 3 steps, was what caused an injury. So these minute things, even it was not on the lifting technique, but there are some gyms that are not able to provide the right equipments which help in causing injuries to clients.
Definitely. Now here I would share experience of powerlifting.
Right.
Now powerlifting is where you lift the heaviest possible weight
Right.
and you're going to perform 1 repetition with that weight.
Correct.
You're supposed to follow norms. So you're supposed to obey orders from your judges.
So correct.
So there would be a judge who would say lift, squat, rack.
Correct.
And in all these 3 comments, you're supposed to lift the weight, step back, get yourself stabilized. If you're shivering, if your weight is moving, then if judge would not say squat only. You're supposed to wait till the time judge says squat. Once you're done squat, again he would say wait for a fraction of a second to see that you are
Stabilized. And then
once you are stabilized, then he say rack.
okay.
Now, you in powerlifting, you should be able to do these things. You should be able to hold that weight. You should be able to rack it. This is actually to prevent injuries.
Correct.
Whereas when it comes to gym, people are very greedy about lifting weights, getting back, doing as soon as possible and racking it.
You know why, sir? Why is it? It's not about in gym nowadays. It's not about just lifting weights for the workout. It is so that video, the content that I want to showcase to my viewers or my followers on social media. कि आज मैंने इतने heavy deadlift मारा, इतने heavy squats मारा. Not knowing that अगर वो heavy मारने से that could lead to an injury, फिर क्या होगा? फिर क्या डालोगे?
Now, the funny story about this also. So coming back to the, having said that you should take your time and perform. We are talking about something called as ATP-CP here. Adenosine triphosphate and creatine phosphate. When you're most explosive, we are using that energy part.
Correct.
And if you're going to get more time in getting back, performing squat, and again racking, and if I'm taking more than 4 to 5 seconds just to get back 3 to 4 steps behind because bad machines, and then possibly when I'm totally drained out of my energy and then going to perform that, that takes a toll on my health. And secondly, I may not be able to lift just because I stepped back 3 steps. And by the time I was about to sit down, I'm already down of energy. So when it comes to such machineries and infrastructure, yes, that makes a difference. Both things. You should be able to maintain that weight on top of your spine with a rigid body, and that comes with the practice. So if you practice, you can nullify that time. So there are a few powerlifters who just lift it, they'll get 2 steps back, and judge would be saying squat.
Correct.
And within 7 seconds, the squat would be over. Because looking at your stability, the judge would say, okay, he is stable enough. So there are a few people who are very good at doing this. I'm trying to be the best. Right. I'm trying to best of myself. So when I squat, yes, I fumble and jumble sometimes. I may take 2 or 3 more steps. But if you try to practice, you become perfect. Regarding infrastructure, as I said, yes, sometimes it affects, and sometimes it can cause serious traumas and injuries. We have seen because of the wrong machines and wrong platform altogether, people do get injury. And regarding ego, for sake of video, we have seen one. I would not take a name of a person. So there was a person who was trying to attempt the heaviest lift in squat, and there were people around him, but he could not clear that rep from the bottom position, and that weight rolled over his head, and he lost his life. Okay, and that happened only and only because, in spite of the fact that there is a squat track, we are squatting outside the squat track.
Correct.
Me being powerlifter, I always squat in the squat track. I would always keep those safety bars by the side. And if I'm not able to perform and not able to push and come up, I would gracefully squat down to that weight. And that would be tracked against those weights.
Absolutely.
Now, it is there for a reason, the squat track. It is made that way for a reason. You should keep your ego aside when you lift weight. And I prefer to work out alone if there is no one around me. And with all safety precautions, I would work out, whether it's squat, bench press, or anything. Now, you can actually avoid these kind of things by making sure that the machines around you, you take optimal advantage of whatever facility is being given to you.
Correct. Right. So you always competed in powerlifting. Or why haven't you taken it a step ahead and gone and competing in strongman? Because strongman has a different vibe to it than compared to powerlifting. You follow the judges. When you lift the weight, you stand, take a step in, you stand, make sure you're stable, squat, come up, make sure you're stable, and you rack your weight. There's a system. It was very systematic. Strongman is a little rough, where there are not many rules, but you can push yourself to a limit. So why haven't you tried, or what has been stopping you to compete in any activity in the strongman?
So I have participated in 2 strongman events.
Okay.
One in BKC.
Okay.
And one, I guess, in Pune, Malewadi.
Okay.
In both of these events, I participated with intention of basically challenging my own limits.
Correct.
There was no intention of winning strongman. Winning strongman, there are so many limitations. Now, when it comes to strongman, their rules and norms are totally different. There are no different categories per se about body weight and other things. So there was one event called as giant bat run, where you're supposed to carry a metal bat in your hand and you're supposed to run. My weight was 93 kg, 100 grams. And I was pushed into a category where people who were heavier than, like 15 kgs heavier than me, were carrying the same bat that I was carrying. Now it was about, I guess, 35 kg.
Okay.
So, and yes, you're supposed to take a run, you're supposed to properly touch that on the line, and then you're supposed to take a. So that makes huge difference. There are no categories as per the body weight. It's either plus this and you are in one category. Secondly, there are so many things that I may not be able to talk clearly about, because when it comes to strongman and people who try to basically lift or perform the best of their abilities with all possible sort of things that they would do to their body. So that is something that I don't want to do. I want to push my limit with my own strength. I don't wish to go ahead with certain things. I represent fitness. So with whatever abilities I have, I would perform them. I may not be able to win strongman competition, but yes, I had participated. Probably I may participate in near future if my schedules allows me.
Okay, now so when people join the gym, one thing they look at is I want to gain muscles. Bottom line is sabhi ka hai. Everybody wants to have a good physique, get good muscle gain. Now, to have a good muscle gain, there's always some importance of dietary supplements that is needed. What is your take on it?
So now, when it comes to muscle gain,
right?
When we say muscle gain, we actually want growth of muscles to happen.
Correct.
And when we say growth of muscle, it depends upon multiple factors, including your genetics, your diet, your sleep, your macro and micronutrients. And obviously, when it comes to training, whether you're training with the approach to break your muscle microscopically, which can actually cause hypertrophy of muscle, that is growth of muscle.
Right.
So most of the times people expect that their muscle should grow or they should gain muscle, but their training is not optimal. Rather, they follow multiple people's, they get program from people, and this is a muscle gain program, or this particular workout will help you gain more muscles. But they forget the fact that you are supposed to actually attain your true potential in lifting. So muscle gain will happen when muscle is broken down microscopically. We call it as a micro trauma towards its failure point. So when it comes to resistance training, you're supposed to perform exercise where you actually attain a failure point.
Correct.
And that could be with multiple exercises. That could be also with only one single exercise.
Correct.
So you need not to join any gym with multiple machines to have that effect on your muscle. It could be just one exercise performed repetitively with proper selection of weight heavier enough to cause micro trauma. Then your nutrition, your rest, and that will take care of your muscle gain. So I would not say that you will require a fancy gym to have muscle gain. What you require is a breakdown stimulus and proper repair with nutrition and adequate sleep.
So when it comes to nutrition, any dietary supplements do you think is needed?
Now, it depends on goal. Like I used to be pure vegetarian, and I used to not even have eggs till the age of 22.
Wow.
And it was when I was into my physiotherapy, and most of my friend would have things made up of chicken, mutton, or eggs, and I would have a veg cutlet. And eventually, because I was working as a trainer as well, I would spend nearly 13,500 to 14,000 rupees on supplements, on whey proteins and other thing, and then would basically do my gymming and bodybuilding.
Right.
I have participated in 3 body shows.
Oh.
And then I got to know that's not enough. So with the muscle that I had, it is not enough.
Right.
Then I turned to be a non-vegetarian, started with eggs.
How was the experience when you started off with non-veg?
Difficult, really difficult. I could basically compare myself with R. Madhavan from movie. Which movie?
Ramji London wale.
No, not Ramji London. I'll tell you. Rehna hai tere dil mein. Literally, it took me 45 minutes to chew that one leg piece of chicken. And every single bite, I used to feel what the hell I'm eating. But now that is not the case. I eat non-veg, I eat well. And I would not say I love non-veg, but that is my basic requirement.
Right.
Above my head, I may be from this century, all of us, below our head, we are still Homo sapien. Our basic requirements of nutrients are still the same.
Right.
So accepting that fact, I started having eggs, chicken, mutton, or I would say protein. Rather than calling it non-veg, I would say
Protein.
adequate protein.
So when you started having this protein, which I also call as chicken and mutton, did you learn to cook it eventually, or did it be mostly from outside, or your friends used to make and give?
No, initially it was outside, because it was because of me, my parents had turned vegetarian. They would eat non-veg, but because I was not eating, and I would not eat in my house if there is non-veg cooked in my house.
Oh.
So because of me, my parents stopped eating non-veg, and I was very hesitant to tell them that I actually started having it.
So when you told them what happened?
They were mixed emotion from my parents' end, especially from my father's end. It was like, as in this, like either to laugh or to cry at myself. So then he made chicken for me, and happily he made chicken for me with all those gravies and all those. That chicken was some different style only altogether, like Dorabji style chicken. And then I would take him to a hotel and we'll have it together. But it took me good 7 to 8 years.
Only accepted. So at this point in time, if I talk about chicken, what is your favorite dish in chicken?
Tandoori.
And mutton?
Mutton, I would like mutton sukha boneless. Or then, if it is not boneless, then there is something called as mutton chettinad with coconut flavor.
I think it's a Kerala dish.
Yes, I like.
So I think we're going to have mutton chettinad for lunch today. So,
So it is flavorful. Secondly, and most of these delicacies from Kerala, because it is prepared in
coconut oil,
not oil,
it's also high in fat.
but that is so you can say the moment you eat it, you feel like eating more. And secondly, it has a very rich aroma and taste because of your coconut. So I like it.
And I'm a big fan of coconut. So anything which has coconut into it, it's like a win-win situation for me.
And it's healthy. So there are multiple things on this.
Right. Superb. Okay, so doctor, now when it comes to powerlifting, what are your insights on the applications of testosterone supplements in powerlifting?
Okay. Now the thing is, when we talk about powerlifting, initially people used to think the bigger you are, the bigger weight you would lift. It is not the case. Now I'm bigger. My weight is 105 and I participate in 105 kg category. But when I go to national, I see people in 105 kg category, they look like a pro bodybuilder.
Right.
Few more example to give you. I have one of my friend, I would say she's my student also. I would say she's powerlifter. Body weight is mainly 45 kg and she can squat nearly double of her body weight, triple of her body weight in deadlift. Lean girl, six-pack abs, plays football, follows good diet, and that is because of her training part. And when it comes to other person, like I know few of them who are like 75 kgs body weight and they lift 300 kgs in deadlift.
Whoa.
That means it's the muscle mass that they have, maximum muscle mass, that they are using it in lifting. So it's basically every single pound of muscle that you have should make you stronger. And that is your functional unit in your body. So yes, now having said that, there are so many powerlifter who would engage into or use certain things which are banned.
Correct.
And there are few who would actually use science. They would use supplements which will help them to improve their testosterone level, and that's how they gain strength.
Right.
So I'm pretty much in favor of using those supplements if that is not considered as a dope.
So, sir, talking on testosterone supplements, a lot of supplements are available in the market, and each bottle of supplement that you see has a lot of different ingredients to make that one capsule. Now, I'm talking about Andropique, which is one product, which is only made with fenugreek, right? So, I'm sure, have you ever consumed Andropique for your workouts prior?
I had consumed it. In fact, I had used it for around 2 months, and that was before my first ever national competition.
Right.
And to tell you one thing, I had actually got a groin strain and adductor muscle injury then. And from 230 kg of squat, I dropped down to 0 because in one of my gym, there are those black and brown colored tiles, right? Weight training tiles.
Correct.
While I was doing a deadlift, one of the tile happened to slip from its position, and it caused me groin strain and there was a tear in muscle. And while I was recovering, I was performing certain exercise and it reoccurred again.
Okay.
So from 230 kg to 0 kg. And that time I was in Delhi. I happened to meet Kezar sir. And I told him that, sir, I have my competition in coming next 2 months in Kerala. And this is what has happened to me. So I'm not able to do squat. This is my problem. He's like, now you're a physiotherapist, you know how to manage your injuries. What do you want from my end? So I said, I just want, since you're a power lifter and you have lifted, I would wish to know what can be done so that I can recover faster. So that time, sir was having his seminar in Delhi on Andropique. So he said, this is something that I'm going to talk about. In short, he explained me that how fenugreek extract would help me, helps in your basically improving your testosterone levels in your body and how that can help me. So I started having it, and I could lift to 30 kg again within 2 months.
Within 2 months?
Within 2 months. It is basically, it's not, you cannot say that it is 0 to 230. It was because of my injury I could not lift.
Correct.
But with these things, with my good protein and all nutrients on its place, I could attain it again. So I could recover within 2 months.
Superb.
And that was my very first time in national that I had performed. And very first time I've lifted to 30 kg in squat. My bench was around, if I'm not wrong, 137.5 kg, and deadlift somewhat around 230 to 235 kg.
Nice.
Today, unfortunately, after that, even it was COVID 2020, so we could not continue lifting, we could not exercise, so I had kind of discontinued. But now I would be this, I said I would like to gain more muscles and be into even lesser weight category. So my aim is to basically go ahead and not to participate above 100 but below 100 kg category, have good lean muscle mass. Hope that I do better.
Absolutely. I'm so sure of it, sir. So how many capsules of Andropique used to consume on a daily basis?
Then I used to consume 4,
Okay.
2 in first meal and 2 in second meal. And though I guess it is written 2 on this product, but because of I was 100 plus in body weight and at a pretty decent intensity in workout already, I used to have 4 capsules.
Right. So, sir, Andropique is it's a natural supplement. So when you go for a competition, I'm sure you have people who are judges over there who are willing to catch athletes for a dope test. So have you come across anything where your co-competitors or someone who caught for a dope test, or how does that procedure work? Because I've not seen something like this, but I want to know something. How do they catch athletes on a dope test?
So they basically do, as in India, the dope tests are basically performed on those athletes who they suspect that, okay, the possible candidate who may have used it. So in national level competition, there would be people from NADA, and they would see that if there are lifters from first, second, and third places who gets gold, silver, and bronze respectively,
Right.
there could be someone potentially lifting way heavier weight than their capacity, and they might look on their appearance that these people are probably using something. So they would basically, after the lifts are done, they would take them aside, take their detail down, and then they would take their urine samples, and that would be tested.
Okay. Is there any way that if an athlete knows that something like this is going to happen, can try to take some kind of medication to avoid?
There are different ways. I'm not thoroughly knowledged about this, but yes, I have seen they try to basically nullify the effects by taking diuretics, and sometimes they call it as washout before competition. That is 2 weeks before competition.
2 weeks before the
Before, if I'm not wrong, because there are certain products which half-life could be 2 days. There are few products whose half-life could be 2 weeks.
right.
And the trace amount might stay there in your blood or your this thing. So this is how what I have basically got to know from a few of my friends who are in industry,
Right.
who are into bodybuilding, or who are basically into educating about these things.
So I heard something recently that before competition, maybe once before an athlete gets into a competition phase, when he practices, especially people at high altitudes, they remove their blood and they keep the blood. They just keep it in the blood bank, which can be put back into them or used back. There's something that happens.
Yes, now this is called as, I would not use the word, but they say it is a blood dope. Now,
It's this some. So I want to know more on this blood dope. It sounds pretty interesting and something new to me. I want to know more on this blood dope.
see, human physiology is great. People do go to high altitude area, and they would try to train themselves in all unadaptive condition, unfavorable temperatures and all, and they would try to push their maximum.
Right.
And initially they would really find it difficult to survive, but eventually, as they get kind of, you can say, accustomed to that climatic condition, they tend to perform better. Now, with improved physical performance, there had to be changes in their blood, there has to be changes in their system altogether, and their oxygen carrying capacity, their profile of blood changes. It improves.
Correct.
Now, these people would actually take out their blood and store it for a few months. And when they would be back to their regular training, it could be in any city and not high altitude area. There, before their competition or event, these people might use this blood, and they actually take that blood back. Their own blood is taken back, which has higher quality of oxygen saturation and other characteristics that helps them.
Wow.
And I guess it cannot be caught unless if there any procedure to make sure basically if you have infused any blood cell or to differentiate between the quality of blood cell that you have.
This is really new. I've just heard of blood do. I never knew it was people actually do it, or it's done in such a silent manner that people are not aware of it.
No, there are few athletes. I guess there are few mountaineers and there are few cyclists, I suppose, who does that. Or there is a history of a cyclist who used to do this. I say the cyclist is actually from Tour de France cycling athlete.
Okay.
So they have I guess they basically cycle entire France. So it may take few days, and I guess the person used to take that blood every single day, if I'm not wrong. So he had multiple pouches of blood stored.
Fabulous. This is something new to me, and surprising. In fact, that something like this actually does exist.
I guess there are so many things that I'm not be aware of, or you might not be aware of. So it's always better that anything that gets that improves your quality of life through food is always great.
Much better.
So for that matter, there are so many things in food when it comes to macro and micronutrients, and which may change your testosterone level, or which may change or which may improve your blood profile. If it is there in food, it is always better to consume through food. That's what I feel.
Right.
And if you cannot get it from food, then something called as nutraceuticals. So it's basically you derive things from food, and that is sold in a form of supplements.
Right.
That could be better option than actually engaging into these kind of acts.
Okay, now so coming to a very fun segment in our podcast is going to be a rapid fire.
Okay.
So you have no idea what is in my cue card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be asking you a question.
Sure.
The first thing that pops into your mind, you can tell me. Right, sir? Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Brace yourself for the rapid fire. Okay. Your favorite food, whether diet or a cheat meal, what is your favorite food?
It's meat.
What, anything, what is your dish?
Mutton sukka.
Mutton sukka, that's what we're having for lunch today. Okay. Your favorite exercise?
Squat.
Squats, okay. Your ideal person?
There are many, but if it is only about fitness, then Keza sir.
Yes, sir, super. What do you prefer? What is your favorite workout? Is it squats or is it deadlifts?
Always squat.
Always squats. Okay. Now, we spoke a lot on supplements and natural food. I don't know, this question doesn't come into it, but what is your take? Supplements or food?
Food.
Food. Social media or books?
Books, but again, those books with all evidences and ethical practice.
So I'll ask you any question, and if you have a little answer to it, you will go home, study it, watch videos, read books which have some connected, and then you will come back with the right answers.
Yes.
Superb. Zafar, tell everybody that you've gone cycling from Pune to Goa multiple times.
Twice. Multiple times across the entire Pune district and out of Pune district, but for Goa, twice.
How was your experience overall? I know this question is just coming in the middle of the rapid fire, but
It's a great experience altogether because on the first day, it was 240 kilometers from Pune
right.
to Kolhapur, and by the end of we had crossed Islampur, and it was all dark. And in the last patch, we were told that there are chances of bisons, gawa, to come out on road in this area, and it's very active. So make sure that you people don't stay here for long. And for the entire, even right from Pune to Kolhapur, our average speed was 25 kilometer per hour. In that last 1 hour, it was 38 kilometer per hour with those lights on top of our helmet. And we were pretty fast when we were totally fatigued. And that was the most, this thing you can say, memorable part of that cycling journey. Second day, it was first day we reached Kolhapur. Second day we were in Amboli. And again, we were told not to go down from Amboli Ghat towards Goa because the same thing would happen. It is 6 p.m. Chances of bisons and leopards to come out on road are high. So we stayed in Amboli for entire night, and next day morning by 11:30 we were in Goa.
So your experience has been amazing cycling from Pune to Goa.
Really, and I'm missing it a lot. Probably in coming few years I might try it for it again.
So there's someone, maybe there's a community in Pune who's watching us and would like to connect with you to lead the way from Pune to Goa in the next few months. Would you be in?
Hopefully, yes.
Hopefully, yes.
Provided my schedule allows me.
Yeah, and that is how we can all cover it. Passion is also important, that it keeps you alive.
Definitely.
Yeah, profession is also important, but yeah, passion keeps you alive and gets you into that zone.
And there is one more person who should allow me.
Who's that, may I ask?
Nothing but my wife.
So I totally agree with you. And my final question: is it cycling or running that you like? Even though I know you cycle all the way to Goa, but
if you ask from the perspective of a functionality, running.
Right.
Suppose if I'm nothing but a Homo sapien, cycle wouldn't be there by
It wouldn't be there.
So if I have to reach from one place to the other, it has to be running.
Right.
A choice, cycling, because on cycle I can attempt, as in I have attended 73 kilometer per hour speed. On cycle, there was a time when my heart rate, I had challenged 100% capacity of my heart and I had reached to 212 beats per minute. So that is totally different adrenaline rush altogether when it is cycle. When you are in a ghat section, when it is really difficult, steep road, and yet you are cycling continuously. You can feel your breathe, you can feel your heart rate, and every single breath that you take is pushing you ahead. Every single beat pushing you ahead. Any small disturbance and you're out of that zone.
Right.
So cycle.
Superb, sir. Let me say it was an amazing experience interacting with you on our show for mic testing. Thank you so very much, Aniruddh, sir. To be very honest, I remember during, I think just after lockdown, me sitting and attending a K11 class, and I think I was driving to Pune from Mumbai, and I was on your class, and you saw me there. So I said, "Hey, Gavin, class mein baithe ho." You were supposed to see me in class, and it's a privilege to have you, sir, being on the other side of the chair. And so I'm really honored that I could have you on our show, sir. Thank you very, very much for Andropique Presents to mic testing, sir.
I'm equally thankful to you and your entire team. And this was very first time that I have basically done something like this, a podcast. Hopefully, I get more opportunity to be on this side.
So we will definitely plan some more topics, something really exciting, and we will have you back on this couch again, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So this was Dr. Aniruddh, who was here for our podcast. Thank you, sir, and thank you very much.